My name's Baltasar Cruz. I'm an Eagle Scout. I went to Harvard where I majored in government. I went to law school at the University of Pennsylvania, and I've been doing civil litigation in Dallas for almost 17 years, and I'm now running for place 7 on the Texas Supreme Court in the Democratic Party primary. I have a lot of ideas to improve the Texas courts. The Texas Supreme Court currently has 9 Republican justices on it. We need to bring back balance to the Supreme Court, and I am running for one of the Democratic spots. I have a lot of ideas to improve the Texas courts, changes I want to make to the Rules of Civil Procedure and the Code of Judicial Conduct, which are issued by the Texas Supreme Court in order to reduce litigation costs, make the courts more accessible to the public, and eliminate unethical practices in the Texas judiciary. For example, I want to prohibit judges from accepting political contributions from lawyers that have cases pending in their courts. Incredibly, in Texas, judges are permitted to call up lawyers who have cases pending in their courts and actually solicit political contributions from them. That is obviously a conflict of interest. I have many other ideas to improve the Texas courts and reduce litigation costs. For example, requiring courts statewide to have submission dockets so that you don't have a hearing on every single motion. They already have that in Collin County and in Harris County in Texas, and they do that in federal court. With a submission docket, you file a motion, the other side files a response, and then the judge is supposed to read the motion and the response and sign an order granting or denying the relief that's being requested. Without a submission docket, you have hearings on all of these motions. And I have even had to travel across the state of Texas, fly from Dallas to Austin to appear for a hearing on a motion for substitution of counsel, because the other side wouldn't agree to let us substitute for another lawyer who was withdrawing from the case. That's a waste of my client's money, and a waste of your money if you have a case in the Texas courtroom and you are having to pay for your lawyer to prepare for and travel to and sit in the courtroom and wait for a judge to hear your motion. And then a lot of times the judge hasn't even read anything and says, I'll take it under advisement, so nothing has even gotten resolved. A submission docket forces the judges to read the motion and the response and to sign an order without having to have a hearing. In traveling around the state of Texas and campaigning for the Texas Supreme Court, I have met my opponent, and we have gone and spoken to the same groups of people, and he's been telling them that he's middle of the road and they should support him because he's middle of the road, and he knows some of the Republicans on the Texas Supreme Court and is friends with them. Well, I am not running to be middle of the road. One thing you will never hear from me is say that I'm middle of the road, okay? Middle of the road didn't help get women the right to vote. And middle of the road didn't desegregate the schools. And middle of the road didn't get collective bargaining for labor unions. And middle of the road didn't create the National Labor Relations Act. Middle of the road didn't help get Brown versus Board of Education decided so that the schools would be desegregated. Middle of the road hasn't stood up to George W. Bush and these radical Republicans that are now running the state of Texas and the United States federal government, the executive branch. So we need to stand up to middle of the road, because middle of the road is in the middle of the way, and they need to get out of the way. So please vote for Baltasar Cruz for the Texas Supreme Court, because we need to have more Democrats with good ideas running for the Supreme Court, and you can see my website to read about my ideas and the differences between me and my opponent. I have many other ideas on my website. There's 26 specific ideas listed on my website at cruzforjudge.blogspot.com, cruzforjudge.blogspot.com, and you don't have to put a www in front of that in order to pull that up. Thank you very much. Please vote for Baltasar Cruz for Texas Supreme Court in the Democratic primary on March 4th, or in early voting February 19th through 29th. Thank you.